Do you want it, Carl? I don't know. Scaramucci?
I'm okay.
I've suggested Scaramucci now that he's free. I don't know. I think it's a really difficult thing. They're down to a few people. They're all men who they're looking at in the finalists. I have not been able to determine exactly who those are. I've gone through, so I've literally called almost every possible CEO in America at this point to find out. So, you know, one is supposed to be a person of color. I keep getting little clues, but you know, there's about 3 or 4 finalists. I have some thoughts, but I will write them on Recode once I confirm them. But it'll be interesting to see who's going to take on this because of all the problems. The major one being, what is Travis Kalanick's role going forward, and what has he done in the past? And I think that's really, I think at the focus of pretty much everybody talking to Uber is concerned about that issue.
Kara, is there the risk of this becoming sort of Twitter all over again in the sense of a somewhat dysfunctional board starting to steer what happens with the executive and thus, you know, the news cycle with the company?
Well, I think the problem is that it has been built around this founder, and this founder is quite controversial on lots of things, and then it's attached to all kinds of scandals. It's not just sexism and sexual harassment scandals. There's a number of lawsuits. There's regulatory issues. Whoever's going to get this company's got a basket of troubles that they have to work on, and obviously, and at the same time, they don't have much of a staff. I mean, many of them, even though there's some excellent people at Uber, most of the senior positions remain empty. So you're going to have the board step in some way, just because of issues of management, essentially. I was trying to figure out what Google is doing in this. Google's obviously suing, Alphabet is suing Uber over issues around one of its employees going to Uber. But at the same time, Google has a major investment. I think it's $300 and some million in it. And someone at Google said to me, who do we call there? Like, who do we call? They don't know. There's no CFO. There's no principal person. And so it's a fascinating company with a great product, but a lot of, as I wrote in the piece, a lot of hair on the dog.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you whether you have any intel from inside the company about what actually is going on there since Kalanick left, whether that's been good for morale or difficult to have such a rudderless ship.
Well, mixed. A lot of people love him. I mean, there's a bunch of employees who signed a letter about it. Other people, he's driving them crazy. He's still in there. The senior employees don't know what to do because he's still involved, even though he probably shouldn't be. And so, you know, they've been trying to put, I think the word I used, one of the quotes I used from someone close to the board was that they're trying to put guardrails around him, but he keeps driving right through them, you know, in a driving metaphor. Right. But, you know, it's a really problematic situation, and they've got to get a CEO in there. Even as their rivals get more funding, they join up, all kinds of things. I mean, the world doesn't stop because Uber is in a you know, a meltdown, essentially. And it's a great product, and it's a great service that people love. And so it should, unlike Twitter, the sky's the limit for this company. The question is, can they get out of their own way? And we'll see. We'll see if they can. And obviously, if they get a great CEO, it'll make a big difference for them.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.